Hi, I'm Heather. Welcome to class. Today we're going to work on a number of different variations in Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior Pose 1. Before we begin, if you find this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. We're going to start by taking our mat to the wall and using a chair against the wall. So let's move our mat, the narrow end of the mat coming in against the wall, and then the chair can rest against the wall. We'll be stepping the right foot up onto the seat of the chair. Let's start by standing reasonably close to the chair. So we're facing the wall, and we can lean into the wall for stability if we feel we need that. If we feel quite balanced, we can just rest hands on the waist. Let's step right foot up onto the seat of the chair. Align your knee vertically top the ankle. And then we can lean into the wall. So again, we've got a sense of stability. So then we'll hop the left leg back and further back so that we're feeling, again, knee vertically top the ankle, thigh, it's maybe on a diagonal, maybe it's horizontal, depends on how high your chair is and how long your legs are. Once you feel you've established this stance, we keep the back heel up and we spin the inner left thigh back. So at this stage, we're not trying to pivot the heel to the floor. If we keep the back heel up, it's going to help us not only roll the inner left thigh back, but also move the outer left hip forward. So our front pelvic bones are facing the wall. They're level to the wall. Then you can bring your hands onto the top of the pelvis, as long as you're feeling steady, and lift the pelvic bones up. So as you lift those front pelvic bones up, that's going to help you lengthen the sacrum and the tailbone down, which in turn brings more length to the lower back. So we're not letting the pelvis sit in a forward tilt. We're wanting to draw the pelvis more into a position, a neutral position, like we would have in Tadasana, mountain pose. Press the left shin bone up so that back leg is strong and straight. And then if you're steady, if you're balanced, take your arms up. So we've got Urdhva Hastasana arms, reaching up, shoulder width hands, lift the rib cage away from the pelvis. Then to come out of the pose, reach your hands to the wall, hop the back leg in, and we'll step down. Legs together. So we start in this Tadasana positioning, and then we can step left foot up onto the seat of the chair. Align the knee vertically top the ankle, and just establish our stance here. Then when you're ready, reach forward to the wall, fingertips to the wall, and we'll hop that right leg back and then even further back, but just watch your knee doesn't come back with you. Keep your knee vertically top the ankle. Back heel is lifted. So then you can roll the outer right hip forward as the inner right thigh rolls back. And as long as you're balanced and steady, bring your hands onto the waist so you can feel the top rim of the pelvis here. Lift the front pelvic bones up. So you've got to use your abdominals to do that. Draw pubis to navel up, front pelvic bones up to help lengthen the sacrum and the tailbone down. All the while spinning the inner right thigh back, moving the outer right hip forward. Then again, if you're steady, take your arms up, shoulder width hands, stretch not only the arms, but the rib cage up. Lift the sides of the waist, lift the sides of the chest. Then to come out of the pose, reach your hands forward to the wall, hop forward and step down. Now let's move the chair away from the wall. We'll take it to the other end of the mat. We'll have the back of the chair facing us. For the next variation, we're going to bring 2 bricks into place. So if we take 2 bricks, we're going to have them stacked, one on top of the other. Put them to the right side of the chair, quite close to the chair. We're going to hold the handle of the chair, step the right foot onto the bricks, and then we're leaning forward enough that we can bear weight in the right leg. We hop the left leg back. Similar to what we were doing at the wall. Hop the left leg back and then even further back. So maybe you've got the wall to plug your heel into. It doesn't really matter, but clearly I'm working with the wall. But what you want to be mindful of is that the stance is not too short. See if you can take a long enough stride that when your knee is vertically top the ankle, your thigh comes parallel to the floor. So clearly if you need more room, I might just wiggle myself a little bit further forward so I've got a little bit more room to descend more deeply into the pose. So again, we can lean forward while we're establishing that long stride back with the back leg. Right knee vertically top the ankle, right thigh parallel to the floor. Push into the chair to lift your chest. But not only lifting your chest, access the pelvic abdominal lift. See if you can draw pubis to navel up, front pelvic bones lift up, so that you can work your sacrum and tailbone down. Now again, we've got the back heel lifted. So that helps us move the outer left hip forward to the chair. If you feel steady, noting if you haven't got your heel to the back wall, you may have a little bit of concern with the balance, but if you can access the wall, that will help. Stretch your arms up. Lift the rib cage well away from the pelvis and go on descending the tailbone. So pubis to navel lifting, sacrum and tailbone descending. Then reach your hands to the chair. Lean forward while you hop the left leg back in. Then we can move the bricks across to the left side. Left foot is standing on the platform of bricks. So then we can lean forward, hop the right leg back and back and back. So far back that, again, we've got knee vertically top of the ankle, thigh parallel to the floor. And if you can access the wall with your heel, that could be very helpful for your balance. But remember, even if you're not using the wall, the heel is not pivoting down to the floor. We're keeping the heel up so that we can establish the pelvis level to the chair rather than having that right side of the pelvis drawing back. So outer right hip moves forward as the inner right thigh rolls back and up. Zip the navel up, so push into the chair, draw pubis to navel up, lift front pelvic bones up, lengthen your sacrum and tailbone down. And then you can start with bent elbows, stretch the arms up, track the arms parallel to each other, lift up the arms, lift up the rib cage, draw the entire circumference of the rib cage up away from the pelvis, and firm up that back leg. Press the right shin bone up. Then reach to your chair, lean forward, hop back in, and let's step off our bricks. Now by now our legs might be on fire. We've been working pretty steadily in our quadriceps, both legs. Let's have a brief moment of reprieve. So we can cross the forearms on the top of the chair, walk back. So you're in a variation of Uttanasana, a restful variation. We're pressing the thighs back, we're lengthening the back of the legs, back of the knees open. Easy, steady breathing. Then as you're ready, lift your head up, come to stand up, and we'll move on. So for the next pose, we can move the chair out of the way, and we're going to use one brick against the wall. Have the brick on the left side of the mat. We're going to plug the left heel to the brick and hop the right leg forward. So left heel to the brick, have the left toes slightly turned to the left rather than all the way forward. So slightly turned out, heel plugging into the brick, and then we're going to hop this right leg forward so that when we bend the knee, again, we're encouraging the right angle between lower leg and upper leg. So knee stacked vertically top the ankle, thigh parallel to the floor, and with the back heel plugged. Again, we want this inner left thigh to roll back, outer left hip to move forward. With the hands on the top of the pelvis. Can you draw those front pelvic bones up and lengthen tailbone down? So remember, we're needing to access some abdominal lift here. Pubis to navel, lifting up. That's going to help us lengthen the lower back. Then let's sweep our arms forward and up. Lift up the entire length of the side body and the entire circumference of the rib cage. It's pretty easy for us to lift the front ribs, but just notice what happens to the back ribs. Can you lift the back ribs up and lift the side ribs a little more than the front ribs? Then we can lower the hands, straighten the leg, and we'll hop that back leg forward to come out of the pose. Let's move our brick. Brick across to the right side, and then we'll place our right heel onto the brick. Turn the right foot slightly out to the right side of the mat. And then with the hands on the waist, hop the left leg forward. Bend the knee as you come forward and find out where does the foot need to be, so that as you bend, you're creating a right angle in the knee, bringing the knee vertically top the ankle and the left thigh bone coming parallel to the floor. So we want to be strong in the actions of the back leg. As you press the heel to the brick, spin the inner left thigh back, move the outer left hip forward, zip the navel up, lift those front pelvic bones up so you feel you can lengthen tailbone down. And then stretch the arms up. So lift up from the sides of the waist, the entire circumference of the rib cage, lifting away from the pelvis. Particularly, can you descend the back of the pelvis away from the ribs? Then stand up as you inhale and we'll hop forward. Again, let's have a rest in Uttanasana. If you feel stiff in the hamstrings, you could bring your forearms to the wall and rest there. You could also potentially use a brick or two underneath your hands. But if your hamstrings are reasonably supple, you can fold further forward and down. Rest the head down. Then as you're ready, raise the head up, hands to the waist, inhale and stand all the way up. There are numerous ways to practice Virabhadrasana 1. We just touched on a few today. If you enjoy practicing with me, check out my video library on my website, heatherkitchenyoga.com.au. There are now over 400 classes in that video library, and I add a new class every week. I welcome you to check it out and to start with a 7-day free trial. That's it for today. Thanks for joining me. For more in-depth teaching, check out the video library on my website, heatherkitchenyoga.com.au. The link is in the description box below.